first movie I've made that is really about the comics. So me being able to sit here with you today and you guys, but really also with all of you who are coming here to see my
That's awesome. I actually want to give a shout out to two actors we have in the audience. We have Stephen Blackheart, who plays Sidney Happerson in the
Stand up, Danny Murray!
Stand Up. And Tasha Halliday.
Yeah, hello.
Like Amanda
Right
before.
there. Yeah, stand up.
Yeah, stand up. It's dark, but thank you so much. There was so much personality in that whole comms room. Like I just loved that.
Those comms room days were the most fun things to shoot. I mean, part of it is because I have a lot of my friends,
right?
But like, it was just so fun to be. It's really, it's weird. I say I didn't, it wasn't about movies, but like watching like United '93 and how they did the comms ups in that movie, or the air. What do you call those? Air flyer controllers? Yeah!
I fucking nailed it.
You killed it, man! You're a writer. It was like trying to shoot everything like that.
So let's talk about your past as a comic book fan. Because we do share some commonality. We both grew up in St. Louis. James is a little bit younger than me.
Jim is much older than me.
Okay.
We're a couple years apart.
Technically, yeah. Chronologically, I am old. St. Louis, there's no one that knows who Mr. Patterson is.
I couldn't remember until Jim reminded. I'm like, Mr. That sounds familiar. And then he showed me the picture, and I'm like, oh my God, I remember Mr. Patterson. But again, I was really, really young. Jim was in his 30s or 40s at that time.
Anyway, Mr. Patches, they showed Ultraman, Johnny Sokko playing Robot, the George Reeves black and white Superman.
Yes.
So we watched the same stuff growing up, and then comics for you were a very personal thing in that they were kind of a bridge to your father, right?
Well, I mean, it didn't start like that. It actually started as like, I was an odd kid who had issues. And
I did not have any issues.
You were very normal. And I, kind of retreated into the world of comics where I thought, there seemed to be a sense of good and evil, of right and wrong, and I didn't see that in my people around me.
Sure.
And I grew up in at the time where we grew up, it was. When I first was there, it was sort of rural Missouri, and then it became more suburban as time went on. And it didn't vibe with my personality so well. My dad actually sent me to see, this is so, you didn't expect it to get this personal.
No.
My dad sent me to see a psychiatrist when I was a kid. Because I was not going to, wouldn't go to school, I didn't do anything, and it was just having a very difficult time with me. And the therapist is like, one of the things you could do is show an interest in some of the stuff that your son does. And she's like, what he really loves is comic books. That's his favorite thing in the world. At the time I wanted to be a comic book. I already knew I wasn't a talented enough artist to be an artist, but I wanted to be a writer because that's easy.
Oh,
very easy. Draw a door.
Space door, all right? Space door. So,
meanwhile, 2 days later.
So my dad did something really sweet. My dad was not the greatest dad in the world, and he was a drinker and had a lot of issues at that time. He got sober at the end of his life. Not the end of his life, when he was older. But he took me up to Creation Comic Con in Chicago, and we spent a weekend there, and it was just, like, to this day, probably the greatest time of my life. Bonding,
Yeah, Ernie Chan, great Filipino Conan.
A horse for me.
Yeah. He drew a horse for you?
Yeah, he drew a horse. Yeah, he drew a horse. It was really, and I kind of experienced my father's love. He wasn't always the greatest at showing it, but he didn't want to go to a comic book convention, and it was really a way that, one of the reasons, it it was so hard for me losing my dad a few years ago is because he's the one person in the world I knew loved me without a doubt. And a lot of it just goes back to then.
You know, one of the things I love about the film, and I've seen it like 5 times at this point, is unabashedly, and you said this at the premiere, I wanted to create that same feeling I got when I opened up the Superman comic. It wasn't an origin story, you're just thrust into the title.
I started reading Action Comics number whatever, 100, 200, you know, and I'm going in, I didn't find out about the Krypton baby till later on.
Right.
I was opening up a comic book and I'm seeing Superman with his superhero friends and a flying dog and giant monsters and all that stuff, and it's just instantly in this world, and that's part of the magic of reading comics. I loved the origins to learn them later on, after I already knew the character in a fully sort of formed state.
Right. But what I love is that you included All-Star Superman, Superman for all 4 seasons. Those are more modern stories, but you had all the Silver Age stuff from like the Crazy Monkeys to the Cells. I mean, that's classic like 60s Superman comic.
I love the idea of Lex Luthor as a scientist who's so incredibly intelligent. He's really a sorcerer.
Yeah.
And that was what was always so interesting to me about those 1950s Lex Luthor stories, and even a little before that. But yeah, I love that stuff.
So I wanted to actually do a little giveaway here. We have 2 books from Insight Public Editions. It is the definitive history of Superman. Yeah.
This book is so cool, man. This is really cool.
400 pages of interviews, unseen art, all the details, all the Easter eggs are in here. This is from James and my personal collection. I've already drawn and signed. James, please sign your edition here.
Great. You drew on my book?
Yes.
I believe it's going to be my book.
I wanted to keep that one clean.
I put the David Cornsweet costume on that one.
That's good.
Thank you. So we're going to give these out.
How can I win this? Like, I'm right here, you can take time.
These are super heavy. If you can't carry it or take it on a plane, give it to someone else. Just very quickly, I just ask people for random things. Does anyone have a ketchup or mustard packet on them? Anyone? Right there. There you go. Come on up.
Wow.
There you go.
Can I get some mustard, please?
I saw the mustard, she showed it.
It's no.
Are you gonna use that?
It's for my sandwich. These are random things. These are things I need.
Who has $1,000?
All right. The next one is. Does anyone have a Q-tip on them? Right there. Come on up.
But what are you going to use the Q-tip and the mustard for?
I don't use the 2 together.
She's got a whole bag.
She hopes so. Uh-oh.
What happens if she doesn't? What if she thinks she has a Q-tip, but she doesn't? Oh, do we not give her the book? Because that seems mean.
They're running.
Yeah.
The Assumption of Q-tips is going to be the name of this episode.
You know what? You look like a good person. I believe you. Superman is about kindness. So the other thing I've really admired about the movie, actually the run-up to the movie, is the massive amount of marketing, like really creative marketing. I don't think I've seen that much marketing. Like, you created a Spotify list for the fictional characters in the movie.
Yeah.
You're a huge music fan. Like, was that like something you did in 15 minutes or days? Like, how do you find the time to do this on top of everything else you're doing?
Okay, well, I did that, kind of later in the process, and that was me procrastinating, because that's what I like to do, is make playlists. So that's like me taking time off to make a Superman playlist.
Got it.
I like Lois and Hawk Girl the best.
Got it. Those are the ones you identify with.
Yeah.
Musically.
Yeah.
And then you also did Jeopardy questions. I don't know if you guys are Jeopardy fans here, but I aced all those questions. I'll just have you know, I got this one. And then there was a really interesting collaboration we worked on together with Fortnite.
Yeah.
Right. So this is the loading screen. There's obviously a David Cornsweat Superman outfit that's in the game. But we also wanted to create something unique and special just for Fortnite. And so we had this idea of basically taking different visual elements of costumes from the different eras of Superman. So the S shield is from the Max Fleischer kind of early 30s S shield. And then the sleeves are from like Birthright, New 52-ish, I think, something like that. So that was a lot of fun to do. And we actually have some news. Oh, you know what was really cool that I didn't even know was going to happen? They included the engineer and Mr. Terrific.
I know. That was so crazy. Yeah.
Eddie was in like one of the X-Men movies, but for Maria, like this is her first exposure to this kind of stuff, right? It's such a delight to see her on her social feeds, just kind of reacting.
Oh, and she's also the world's biggest Peacemaker fan.
Oh, okay, fantastic.
He knows the lyrics to every song from the first season.
All right, so we actually have some, any Fortnite players here? Woo! All right. So you guys are actually going to see something exclusive for the first time here. I was actually supposed to tell you at the beginning of this panel not to record any. Spoiler alert. You get the biggest reaction from the audience.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what 9-year-olds are watching Peacemaker? I'm like, what a marketing team we have that we could just sell anything to anyone and they love it. Anyway, so fantastic. All right, so I think that's it. Thank you so much, James, for being here.
Thank you, guys.
You are such a champion for comics and not just delivering this amazing, entertaining movie. I have to thank you for bringing kids into the fold, right? I think sometimes we tell very serious stories. I'm looking at you, Tom. And it's nice to have something that is all ages that creates the next generation.
I think, everybody loves these characters. You love DC, as much as I do, and it's great to be able to create stuff for adults, for kids, for families, for women, for men, just give something for everybody. And that's part of what is so exciting about creating this DCU is being able to create all these interconnected stories that are still for very, different kinds of groups of people.
Fantastic.
And everybody should be represented, so.
Yeah. And maybe there are 2 kids in St. Louis watching it, like they're 10 or 12 years old, that someday will be up on here talking about their next film project. Anyway, thank you, James.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.